Welcome to Hug Nation. Before we get underway, or as we get underway, or as a form of getting underway, let's take a moment and get into this moment. Let's become present. Let's practice some mindfulness. Let's turn our attention to the movie on the screen. The universe unfolding in front of us, around us, inside us. The universe unfolding as we are a part of it. As we breathe, as rain falls, as evaporation occurs, as babies grow, as wood decays. But let's step inside of those definitions and those descriptions and just be aware of the sensations present in this moment. Feel your feet on the ground, your seat in the chair. Where are your body touching your body? Where are your hands? Can you feel them? Can you feel your toes? Can you feel an awareness as you trace your body, your toe to ankle, up your calf? Become aware of your knee and thigh, your hip, your belly. Take a deep breath and feel your belly stretch. Up to your chest, your shoulder, down your arm, to your fingers, to your other finger, up the arm, up the shoulder, to the base of your neck, up the back of your skull, up the top of your head. In this moment we need do nothing. We merely need to receive, to allow, to become vessels for the love that is around us and is us. We are human beings, not human doings. And so much of our divine purpose is simply sitting in that awareness of appreciation and gratitude. Thank you, universe, for all of these gifts. Help us to stay aware of the magnitude of our fortune. Help us to be loving entities in the universe. Amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you might notice, my voice is a bit, calm today. I haven't had much food in the last 24 hours. I'm having a little bit of a stomach bug. And I think stomach bug is the polite way of saying I'm shitting myself silly. So if I have to get up in the middle of the broadcast to excuse myself, let's just leave it at that. Fair enough? Cool. So I normally have had like 4 cups of coffee right now, but I'm barely into my 1.5 cup. So that's the lack of energy. Plus I haven't had much food. Anyway, the point is this. That description I just gave of body ailments, I share not as a complaint. I share it not as, well, maybe I do share it as an excuse or an explanation for a difference in my demeanor or energy level, but not as a complaint. Because what I wanted to talk about today was the reoccurring and frequent reminder I need to give myself, which is crapper cone. This concept was developed by spending time with my grandfather. My grandfather who, among many other things, was a master of gratitude. In the words that he said, in the stories he shared, but most importantly in just his presence and where he put his focus and where he called upon thanks in a dramatic an overt way, whether it was appreciating a tree or appreciating the help that would bring him dessert at the table, or whether it was appreciating the roof over his head. Everything in his world he saw through a lens of grand appreciation. And when I visited him in the hospital, I don't think it was even near the end, but in his late 90s, there was a number of times when he spent extended times in the hospital. And there was one time when he was quite frail and all pumped up with needles and things, and I went to go see him, and hospitals are tough places to keep your spirits up, and because it's just the whole vibe there is sickness, and not everybody there is quite as masterful at gratitude as Grandpa. And so by the time I got to his room, I was really just kind of like, oh man, I'm here because I have to be here. I hope he's okay. And I walked in the door, and he was like, hello, grandson. I mean, his voice was all like, his mouth was all dry from his medication. He's like, hey, grandson. He's like, wow, the doctors here give me such good care. It's amazing. The modern medical miracles is just, it's incredible. And I was like, all of a sudden, just, I could feel this like tentative tension in my body. And as I heard him talk, it was just like, whew. And it became really clear that that's everything. There's that one thing of being able to see your blessings. Allows you to live in heaven all the time. And so I kind of learned from him a lot and tried to practice that. And the way that I helped to visualize it for myself was this idea that at every moment in your life, you have an ice cream cone in your hand and you've got dog shit on your shoe. At every time in your life, you have got friends, opportunities, good books. And at every moment in your life, you've got ailments, frustrations, things you wish were different. And the degree in which you place your focus on one or the other determines your life, determines whether you live in heaven or if you live in hell. Now, you have both of those things at all times, and so I'm not saying that you just can ignore the things that are bad in your life. I'm saying that there's a big difference between noticing that you have shit on your shoe, making efforts to get it clean, and there's a big difference between that and becoming so obsessed with the shit on your shoe that you tell everyone about it. And even as you eat your ice cream cone, you're talking about dog shit. You might even get so focused on it that you set down your ice cream cone to make sure that everybody knows how oh man, you might have some smelly dog shit, but I think this dog was eating ham sandwiches. I don't know what happened here, but this is We think we're being so responsible when we focus on the negative things. The news has trained us to think that news is what's going wrong. But the reason that happens is because so much is going right that it becomes impossible to report on what's going right. So instead, we make a habit of reporting what goes wrong. And then because we're human and we have certain tendencies, we become addicted to fear that is about what's going wrong. But enough of the news. The important thing is to remember that there is always a cone. Today I feel physically so weak and feel not at my best. But that isn't a that is a minor bit of dog crap on my shoe. Fine. It doesn't take away from the ice cream cone of this gathering, of the people in my life, the love in my life, the places that I've seen, the green trees I can see outside. I had an experience this week where I was at the office, which sounds weird in the first place, but I was at the office, waiting for a coffee to be made in the coffee machine there. I looked out the window, and there was this massive ficus tree outside. And because in this part of the country, it's pretty much springtime, there were these just seemed like infinite variations of greens as the new leaves were popping out. And just for like 10 seconds, I just was like focusing on the vibrancy of this ice cream cone, of just the massive gift of this visual experience. Not because it's trying to impress me, but just because what it does, that's what this ficus does. And so in that moment, my world was so full of ice cream cone. And so as I go through the world and go through challenges, as we all do, I think it's one of those phrases that I think can be a good snap you back. Snap you back. And people have used it on me many times when I've been frustrated or running around or caught up in a conflict. In fact, there was a time at Burning Man when we were having challenges with someone who was, or a group of people that didn't want to pay dues, and I had, kind of felt like an obligation to everybody. We should all pay dues, and they had set up their tents, and they didn't have any money, and I was just trying to make this, and I was not having a good day. And I was running around, I was, trying to be the, and Spot Man yelled at me from a tent, "Halcyon! Crapper cone!" And it was just like, I went, and it was so clear. Here I was at Burning Man, an environment pretty much composed entirely of ice cream. And I had put on my blinders and built a little shed just so that I could focus on the little bit of shit that was in my world. And as soon as he said that, crapper cone, whew, right. It takes practice, because the voices that we hear in the world are not usually saying crap or cone. They're usually saying, crap! 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 So we have to be there for one another to go, oh, cone! 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 So thank you for being a part of my cone, my delicious, lovely, wonderful, creamy cone. And may your day be filled with ice cream and positivity and good memories and recalibration, so that you recognize what a gift is available at every moment.